magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats in rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. What is up, everyone? Fearless family, it's your main man, Frank Castle, your Sorcerer Supreme. It is January 19th. Welcome to Fearless Revelations. So I've been trying to go live for quite a bit, and thank you for anyone who's joining us. Click a like to show up, bring that fire and the sun into the chat room. Throw them up in the air. Let me know you're here. There you go. What's up, Michael? What's up, 88? So I've been doing a lot of, let me relax into this a little bit. I've been doing a lot of the Fearless Conversation shows and a lot of interviews, and I'm trying to up the game a little bit and bring it all together. I got a whole list. I left the list in the other room of the next set of people that I'm bringing on Fearless Conversations. I hope you guys are enjoying it. From what I'm seeing, everyone is. These are great people, fearless beings, and being introduced to the other parts of the crowd. You might know them already, but check them out and see what they do. I noticed that we're putting the puzzle pieces together. I just did shout outs to Don in the After Dark show, Don Rogers. So I just did a show with him and Steve from BG Cast. And I usually don't like doing shows where there's a couple of people. It's a little difficult sometimes. Is my mic low? If my mic's low, tell me. I'll light it up a little bit. Let me see. Check 1 2. That should be pretty good. Yeah, so we dug into some heavy information on sound, vibration, frequency, and we all are masters or mastering our own ways, our own everything, our own original path through this place. And when you show up in 3, when you have 3, there's no stopping it. That I know. 3 or more in my name, it's all good. It was so powerful, this show, that I'm still kind of having chills over it. I'm still integrating so much of the information. I actually have to go back and watch it again. I watched like a quarter of it. So filled with information on the possibilities and the remembering of what's going on, right? So we're all coming back with memories, and we're remembering what we once used to do. And we had this interesting conversation where, so let's just say the Anunnaki or whatever, those characters came from somewhere, came here. So those are fractals of us. So it's like future us shows up to create us, that helps guide us, and you turn into them to come back and help again. So we're getting this information from us. We were already taught this information. We were given the information. The information was taken away slowly over time, reduced to nothing. The bells were destroyed at the frequency, and the tuning forks were retuned. You know what I'm saying? Like things went digital instead of analog. So all these weird things were happening, and that was slowly placing us into a false matrix reality. Luckily for us, we're doing pretty good. Good evening from London. What is up, London? It's good to have you here tonight. Shout outs from the Bronx, New York, where it's currently snowing in 20 degrees. So we'll see how this is going to play out. It's our first like wintry storm, right? I tried so hard to go live for 2 hours. Everything, well, not an obstacle. I kept getting taken by other things. It was really crazy. No matter what I did, I couldn't get on until I clicked that button. My keyboard died. It wouldn't accept the other keyboard. Then it did accept the other keyboard, and the other keyboard was drained of juice already, even though I already juiced it. So there's been a lot of that going on, right? My phone isn't holding the greatest charge anymore for some strange reason. I played it for a little while, and light bulbs have blown out in this house that are supposed to last like forever. That was the other thing. Just really weird things I'm noticing. So awareness is key in this. I keep saying spirituality gave us a bad rap with the new age and all that, which isn't, it's not all wrong. If you take a little bit from every one section, you got the right stuff. But spirituality, I had to kind of like say, we're going to talk about something spiritual, like a spirituality topic. However, we're going to replace the word spirituality with the word awareness, right? And then people started listening to me a little bit. I said, if you have more awareness in a scenario, would that not be best for you and probably everyone else in the scenario? Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, how do you have more awareness? Because awareness is key in this whole thing. We talk about it all the time. So you heal your trauma, the things that fill up your mind, that bog you down, slow up your biocomputer, and suddenly you're filled with more. You're just lighter. You're like undensifying a bunch that has been densified and crushed into you. Like yoga, when you extra stretch, it like pulls it apart. All that trauma comes out, which is why it hurts. Oh, everything represents everything else. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it feels so good though. And later on, you're like, that was the best thing I did for myself. Right. You decompressed the compression. So when you do that, you have more space inside your hard drive and your RAM and your different spots where you then held that. It frees everything up. And you're like, whoa, I got more space for stuff. You fill with light. Light carries information. Information now is downloaded into you. You integrate it, and now you're aware of more things of your natural surroundings. That's why when people want the grandiose stuff, I'm like, that's there. But isn't it cool to be more aware of like everything that's going on? Like, not only are you 5 senses hypersensitive, maybe one more than the other or a couple combined. Yeah, it's really good. I got good eyesight. I could hear you from a mile away. That's great. That is awareness. That is key to your space. But you have a 6th sense as well. And that rocks your real spider sense. Paul and I went out for lunch the other day, and we were ordering, and the lady behind the counter was really nice, and we were just talking to her. And Paula and I were asking and answering the exact same way. She looked at us the first time we did it. We said the exact same thing at the exact same time while we were all having fun in the moment, and didn't break stride, but she smiled like, oh, that was pretty funny coming from you two. And then closed the conversation by saying the exact same thing again. And she was like, she looked at us like, are you doing that on purpose? I'm like, you can't do that on purpose. I just laughed about it. I go, if I keep grabbing her and telling her every time you do that, you got to get me a beer, right? You do the beer game. Beer, you say the same thing at the same time. I don't drink, but it's funny. And people are noticing, right? So more awareness leads to the connections. The connections go live. You're not bogged down by this. You can now step into the next thing, right? The next sound, the next vibration, the next frequency. You know, we were talking about how the sun spits out a sound. It makes the ohm, right? Ohm. So it's like the baseline for everything that's held together in the universe. And that sand pad that they put down and then play an instrument, and then they'll play a note and it'll like hold a shape, right? And each sound makes a different shape. I think most of us seen this video, cymatics, I think it's called, where they show you like each note that they play can do a different thing. Like they can make water twist and turn. They can make it fall really cool, but it always lands back over here. They can make it bend and twist. Okay, so the sun spits out the ohm, which is why when you do meditations, you start with that, right? The ohm. So the ohm is shifting slightly. So if the ohm shifts slightly, and when you play the note, it's like the bond that holds everything into the shape of that structure. So it'll never stop making that. It'll never stop making a tone. But during the ascension process, which is really just a clock that the universal structure is based after. So it's like, yo, school's out, bro. Right? Like you go to school for a certain point of time, then you get a couple of days off, and then you get your testing at the end. And if you pass, you go into the next grade, right? You get the summers off and you get to do your thing. We're kind of on a structure. I'm being simple, very similar. So the sun spits out, we go take that information and light into us, and then we grow with what's going on around us and into our environment, because we're made up of everything. So you're like from the sun, you come through the sun, and you are a sun, and you're so much more, right? So you're the whole thing. This is why I keep saying you're a source. Like if we just keep that in our heads, the rest will follow, right? When you're like, oh, I'm the creator, your structure needs to understand that your onboard computer can't fight with that thought. That's no longer, it's not like, is the earth flat? Is it round? You can't be doing that. Am I the creator? Am I not the creator? You can't do that. You want the magic? I'm the creator. I'm ready for the magic. Bring it to me. And boom, it starts showing up. Right. And it sounds funny at first, but it's not. And then you notice the change. You notice the awareness. You notice the frequency shifts. You're not like you were. Things start to change around you, but it's always been this way. You notice things that you thought were clean were dirty. I'm keeping it super simple. The things that you haven't done. So for me, there was a smell in the house. My mother just came back from a big trip. This is how awareness is key. Right? There was like a smell, and she came in the house. It was the second day it must have happened that she was home. And then like the third and fourth day, there was an odd smell. So she like poisoned the place and just sprayed and went nuts and did all this. I'm like, yo, you can't do that. We're all allergic to it. No scented candles. No this, please, 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 please. No poisons. We have to focus in on what this is, because everything else has been clean. Everything was good. So we focused out. We waited. We aired everything out. The next morning I got up and I was standing in the living room and I was like, where is it? I went right to the front room. I looked down. There was the dog box. I just opened the top of the dog box, and there the smell was. They must have brought something in there and killed something and then sprayed in there and then took it out of there and left pieces of it. It smelled like death. It didn't even smell like cat spray. It smelled like death. I was like, how did we not catch this quicker? We weren't paying attention. We weren't aware enough yet. And then when we were, what did we do? We removed it. We realized it's cardboard. We didn't even know that. So it absorbed that whole disgustingness. Just picked it up, threw it out. Place is clean. I'm clean. The house smells clean. Oh, everything's good. Everyone's in a good attitude. Things are in play again. Very simple stuff. When you start accessing the bigger things, you notice the deeper detail. Oh, I didn't notice that was there the whole time. I could have taken care of this way back when. And then you start to notice it all. So heavy duty awareness is heavy duty spirituality. And the key will keep that being key will keep you on point, on a sharp point. And now you have a responsibility to having those abilities, and that would be cleaning up your surroundings, making things all right inside, and then project it outside. Like, you can't leave that there no matter what. And I know this is just simple talk, but that's how you get to the next stuff we're going to be talking about. So as you become lighter, you become more aware, things start to occur that you were not expecting to happen, right? So shout outs to everyone in the chat. What's up, Andrew? Sly Shaman in the house. What's up, Alan? What up, Marquardt? What's up, Dawn? How you doing? Right. So they say when you do mushrooms and all that, you clean your house and it's a reflection of everything else, right? So now I'm finding myself with more spiritual time. I don't know, this awareness has kept me into a mode where things got really cleaned, really like a deeper cleaning. But manifestation was happening within it because there was a focus of pushing through and keeping a positive attitude, including doing dishes that I do 40 minutes of dishes a day. It's crazy. There are just so many dishes to do all the time, but I don't complain. I get all my manifestation in during the cleaning, as I'm vacuuming, as I'm making the bed, as I'm folding the sheets, as I'm making the pie, as I'm, scrambling an egg. This is you. The time changes for you. So my time is slowed up for me, but time is speeding up. So I feel like we're in like an honest 12 hours of a day, but I can slow it down and focus on specific things and pay attention more. So it's like, well, we're losing time on one end because it's speeding up, but I'm slowing it down so I can meditate through. I can do this, I can do that. Oh, look at the things I got done today, and the day's over. It's already night. We're sitting there, we're having tea, and it's 9:30. And I'm like, I still got all this other stuff to do. And I go in the room, I start working. Everything is an accomplishment, though slowly, because you're not doing 100 in a day. You're not, well, let me do this, let me do that. Like, I'm focusing and doing multitasking at the same time. And out of that is coming this manifestation. So Paul and I are she laughs at me. She goes, "Get out of my head, right? You in my headspace again." And I'm like, "Is it the head movies? Are we seeing the same thing? Because we're saying the same thing. We're finishing the punchlines of the joke. We've been laughing in the face of adversity and weird effects of things that you can climb the hill of drama, or you can just let it go and laugh. You could realize what it is, and it could get serious. You could be like, son of a bitch, I can't take it no more. Okay, you said it. Let it out. Let it out. You got to laugh at something. Go enjoy something. Take it to a different level and watch what starts to occur. You start to ramp up. More and more of us, as the weeding out process has been going on. I have a close friend on Twitter, Christy, Shaman Christy. And I don't know if she's out in LA or Vegas or out in that direction. I'm not quite sure anymore. She said to me, "Yo, you are the OG champ. Like, you got the OG belt." I said, I was like really thankful of that. And I know what she means. She's like, "You've never not lied, and all this stuff has come out and has come true." I'm like, the problem that we get with all this other distraction nonsense is that you add to it. So in your awareness and in your time of it, it's already fantastical. It's already crazy. You don't have to make it any more crazy. You just say what you see. Say how you feel when you initially feel it. Watch what occurs. Right? Does anybody out there that has animals? My animals have been getting closer to me, and they're kind of listening, like they're picking up on things. I asked Bebe to do some stuff before, and she's a year and a half old, and she's pretty big now, but she like was hiding because the dog was in the house running around. And I said, dog's not going to bother you, come out here. And she was like not paying attention. I walked over to her quietly and I said, come on, do you think I would let anything harm you? You're bigger than the dog. I need you to come out here and sit up where we sit. I'll make you some food, I'll get you some treats. This cat jumped up on the chair and just did that. Paula was like, whoa, someone's making a connection. And I'm like, very calm. There was no anxiety in me. It was just like you would talk to a little kid, like, hey, listen, you know. And I felt the connection. Like, I'm paying attention. You have a responsibility to this awareness detection, because then you'll be aware, like, oh, okay, this need is not being met. Let me fulfill this need, this requirement, service to others. And then boom, the connection goes live. It gets easier, not harder. So as I back down from the intensity of it, I already love these beings. So I don't have to overtly focus. It's the best place to practice this stuff, right? With the love of your animal. I think I can do anything to Sugar Pop. I've never had a cat just that was as frightened as her. So I was doing this show, and she was a very young pregnant cat who had the baby, and the baby was a little pop because it was a little baby. It was like all weird. And the neighbor took the baby, adopted the kitten. And then we got Sugar Pop fixed, and she was the most fearful animal I've ever seen. She has the biggest eyes, like, oh, like mine. Like, she just and she doesn't have the slits like the lizard slits. She big round eyes. Like, she looks at you, you could feel it. And she was always frightened. To being the cat that lays in this bed right next to me and just lays on her back, opens her paws, lets me see everything. I get to groom her everywhere. I could put my face on her belly and bite her, and she will do nothing but be like, oh, he'll never hurt me. Like, she just let it go. The wildest thing. This wasn't like this very long ago. It's subtle at first and moves into the craziest stuff. All things you wouldn't think, right? So one of the interviews I did last week, when I was talking, there was a shadow entity right here in the room, right? And it was staring at me as I was talking about demonic entities, right? I don't remember what show I was on. And I wasn't quite standing up for them, but I was talking about like how they're beings as well. Not that you'd go out of your way to do whatever for a demon, but when a demon's like floating around and kind of doing its thing, and something else comes in and takes the demon and goes, no, you go here because of my ritual. And the demon's like, no, I have to go back to the pit, right? Just, do you open the pit and just send the demon back? Be like, he knows what's going on. It's obviously the AI running amok. That's what's doing all of this crazy shit. The dark AI that everyone's afraid of and from the background is live and in effect and rocking in the background. However, during the split, the AI has less effect on those that are going towards the higher frequency. There's a point in 4D where it starts to not be able to reach you. And then when you're vibrating high, it's just you're out of its range. And that's it. You'll be in the space with it. So if it builds a robot body and comes after you, you're going to get your ass kicked if you don't fight back. This is how this thing works until there's an actual split. You know, and people go here and people go here. It's not as much the demons. It was the lizards. The demons are like part of the chess game. Like, you're playing chess. There are characters in the game, and there are characters in the game that are playing right now the game where from the chessboard player piece that shouldn't be interfering, because it's supposed to be me versus, let's say, you don't want a third party with tentacles influencing me and you and how we play, and when we're not paying attention, moving pieces around to eventually sitting on the board and going, my game, knock everything off the board. You can't allow that. If you were playing chess and that happened to you, you'd get pretty pissed off, right? It's like the guy that punches the Monopoly board. Screw this game. They flip it. Think of a character that's out there just putting stuff down on the board. And then when you go to do it, it pushes you back. And you're like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. And it says to you, no, it says nothing to you. It just looks at you, maybe, because you're not, it already knows. So you can't have that going on, right? That's all based on that hierarchy of the AI and then its workers. The archons, the head ones, people want to put them up here and say, well, it's from them that it filters down. Maybe, because I see the AI controlling them too. So what are you talking about? It's like anyone involved with this has been connected and in. So you have the Draco reptilians praying to them. That's God. That's our God, the AI God. And then everyone connected, the weirdo grays that nobody likes, and the tall whites that nobody likes, the ones that, you know, they're all praying to that thing. All those archonic characters are all with that guy at the top, which is why it's on the dollar bill, right? So you're dealing with that. That's who the enemy is. The demon don't want that guy out there. So this is one of the things we realized during the conversation the other night. I know I'm kind of flipping and jumping, but I got to re-get in my groove. So tones, frequencies, and vibrations create patterns known as sacred geometry. Held in place by a tone, bong, and the shape appears. Portals are already real, right? So opening this helped me because when I had my issues where I had to close portals down, I saw the AI affecting the reptilians, the men, some grays, but it was like taking over the scenario because they wouldn't move fast enough, right? So I would close the portal and the portal looked like a Stargate. It was a circle and it had different symbols, right? So to me, it looked like the tentacles, when I closed the portal, it would just reopen the portal. Boop, 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 by pressing these things and they'd light up. So I'm like, how is it doing that? It's almost like it's dialing in the code as fast as I can close it. It's just reopening it, pulling stuff out of the pit, putting it onto the board, right? And the pit's like, yo, close that. We can't be up there in that frequency. Our time is done. That battle with the demons and stuff is done. You got ETs that are doing this stuff. You got bad guys, literal bad guys. We know demons get the raps for everything, but they're pulling us out of the portal. So I'm looking at it and going, well, those are sigils to dial into the pit and pull things out. So it knows all the sigils already. It has all the information. So it's technologically advanced to the point it can do spiritual. It could use these techniques as spiritual. It could do damage to you. It could just do stuff that normally these things wouldn't be able to do. So during our conversation on Don's show, I realized that it's tone and frequency, so it's vibration. I was on the vibration pad that my mother has downstairs. It's like a big thing you stand on. It like a plate and it vibrates you. I was smoking during it, and then I bopped into DMT world. It was like another world, like just like ours. Just it was right there. I saw it coming, and then the vibrations, and I just was there. And I leaned over and I went, "Hello, DMT world." And Paula had to like come over to me and take the blunt away from me. And she's like, "Yo, you all right?" I'm like, hold on, because I'm holding it. And I realized that it vibrated me into a frequency that I was maybe would have hit by just smoking some weed, because that happens to me often. Like if it's really strong, I just, oh, there's DMT world. I'm kind of falling over like, wow, that was crazy. Oh, what a crazy strong weed. But no, this held it there. And I said, I got it. more awareness. So I'm not like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I see it coming. I want to know what this is. So I hold it and I'm able to justify that by being on that plate. So the plate's vibrating. The tone is there. Maybe I'm not hearing it. Maybe it's the sound that's being made by the vibration itself. So I'm a little off on that one. However, when you eat mushrooms and you stare at the Egyptian hieroglyphics, they tell you a story, and circles become wheels that spin. And inside that spin is information, and you're accessing it, and it's moving, it's vibrating. It's like, we hear it. So I'm like, oh, so that symbol means that vibration frequency, right? And you're like, oh, so the ancient guys would take the symbol that the like, space god lowercase g gave them, their friend from inner earth, whoever, and the character didn't have a name. He had a symbol, kind of like Prince, right? The artist formerly known. And he gives that symbol to the people. And in that information is everything that he's taught them, as well as you put that on a wall and perhaps sing to it or do some kind of vocal frequency. And the portal just opens and takes you right to him. That's how you get to him. It's his energetic frequency signature given in art, like some kind of symbol. And that's his personal frequency with the information on it. And you access it through more sound. So we be shifting frequencies and sounds nonstop. So we can access these things way more. So if you put the vibrating pad on top of a stone and you turn the knob to 10, you might have the ability, if there's a real big vibration plate, to shatter the stone. The whole thing just shatters. You're like, whoa, crack the rock. That's crazy. But we're only being shown that turn on the knob. We're not being shown what's past that. And we're not being shown what's on the other side of that. So in a dualistic place where sounds and frequencies rule, the opposite way of the notes or the frequency or the vibration turn of the knob the other way might make it light, malleable, might make somebody able to just pick it up and walk away, might levitate it. Bumblebees, wings are not made to fly. They're not made for flight. They fly. They don't understand. And it's like, yo, the wings can't physically hold the weight of the bumblebee, but the wings vibrate and hit a frequency note and allows vibration. And that's the buzz that we all right? And when you see the bee and how it's flying, it's more like a levitation through the wind. It's not really flying and taking off. We get the big fat bumbles here. They can't get over the fence sometimes. They just kind of go up and hope the wind's blowing them in that direction, or they kind of can, but they really can't. And then you're like, how are they doing that though? If it can't support them, they're hitting the note. They're changing the tone. So the sun is spitting this at us, and we're evolving, and the tone's changing. So last week, beginning of the week, right? Last Sunday, the sun split in half, like a big crack in it. And everyone was like, whoa, look at that. I posted on my Twitter. I was like, I wonder what's coming out of the portal this time, because you could see right into it. You can see the darkness from the other side of the place, whatever, from looking inside, like looking in a tunnel, like what's coming through. Every time I've been there, stuff comes in and out nonstop. It's not burning like you think it's burning. It's not like that. I can't explain it. There's better men out there that probably can. But I'm like, wow, this is an electric universe, isn't it? But when I was there, I saw through the portal where these beings were coming from. Whatever, I saw their landing place over there, and I could see them coming through. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I wonder why I'm here, right? and they were like beings just flying around, coming right out of the sun with these giant ships. And I kept looking at the ships like, wow, that's a Pleiadian light ship. I never thought I'd see one this close. And then I'm like, wait a second, how did I even know that? And then these beings came over. I think they were Arcturian. They were big purple, big heads, very cool. And I didn't know what was happening. And I'm like, so everyone's coming? They're like, well, we heard the call. I go, what call? I go, I guess I'm gonna have to defend the planet against y'all because I'm the only one that's noticing this, and with the power comes responsibility. They were like, no, you guys made the call. We're showing up. We've been showing up the whole time, but now we're really like bringing it. And I'm like, it's almost like a parade of beings from different places that decided to get together and say enough is enough on planet Earth. And they just dialed in from where they're from and came right through the sun to us. Powerful, really powerful information. So if you change the vibrations and the frequencies, you can change the things around you, which is why when things get crazy in the matrix, the false matrix illusion for people as they're starting, we're like, just meditate, and people get mad. They go, I don't want to meditate. I'm like, you got to sit down. You need to silence that shit or om. Like you want to move your mouth. Om. There's a lot of other good ones, but that really help break through some other stuff. But people laugh and they're like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, no, listen, as you're saying it, it resonates out of you. Whatever's broadcasting at you to have the different effect will get knocked out of your aura bubble, out of your little bubble, by you doing that and keeping resonance. Almost like if somebody's playing an acoustic guitar really good in the room with you and you feel it move through the room and fill the room, like music fills the room and then just continues at that. And now nothing gets in. You raise the frequency. That's it. From there, you can make the educated choice to go left or right or up or down. But people don't want to hear that part. And it's hard to explain all of this to them because people want to know, they want to know, they want to know, they want to know, but you don't want to know, you want to do. You want to learn and put it into play right now. Because I can tell you about it all day, but if you don't do it, I notice all the people that tell people to do the hard work because it's worth it are people that are lower on the scale than all the more famous people. You know, Source has a bigger plan for every single one of us. I was on, I was asking my brother, I might have said this before, but I was asking my brother, who's your favorite person? He said, Billy Carson. I love the way the guy talks and everything. I go, yeah. So I showed him the debate where he got smashed. I felt bad. It doesn't mean the guy's lying. He just means he's not the foremost guy in that stuff. And he's pretty much repeating things. He's not like he had a huge download and started pumping out information. But he's pretty popular. He's everywhere. He has shows on Gaia, Ancient Aliens, this, that, the other thing. Meanwhile, people around him that have less than 1,000 views on some of their shows are telling you the real information. But people would tend to go to him. And I'm like, well, there's your boy. He was on one of the shows that I got booked on Friday. And then my interview Saturday and David Icke is Sunday. So when you ask, why has nobody been telling us? Even these guys lie. But I'm like, I can only speak for myself and the ones that I know. But I'm right here, yo. Changing the frequency, telling you how to do it. When I say something like, yo, bring it down a notch, you got to meditate your way through it. And you're like, dude, life is too hard and everything. No shit. That is why you have to do that. And that's base layer. That's nothing. Anyone that does the hard work can totally tell you that is base layer shit. Excuse me. But this base layer stuff brings you into the next room. You master the first. All right. So when you're building something with cement, like a flooring point, like you have to put up all these like secure pieces before you ever pour cement, right? You have to dig the hole. You have to make sure everything's balanced out properly, maybe where the drain needs to be, and it has to slope slightly correct this way, and blah, blah, blah. You got to figure out all that beforehand before you can even pour the cement. When you start, or if you're building with brick, you're measuring, laying it out, make sure it's flat so it doesn't sink and it ruins the whole thing. But once you get that first layer done, it's easy to start building and doing all the other stuff. It's just you want to make sure that base is correct, unbreakable, unshakable. So you want to do that meditation. You clear out traumas so fast, right? So something I noticed out there, a lot of people, their karma's gone. Mine's gone. It's been gone for a while, but I was not that long. This last year, 2024, some midway point, I had no karma left. They were like, now karma comes to you as you do it. They were like, you fulfilled your contract. Everything else that goes on is like extra credit at this point because you're already aware you're going to evolve. You can't stop evolving into stuff. So, but what you did already is what you came to do. And now it's your job to play it out and to see where it goes. You've seen the future and you've seen all these other things, and you hear people talk about how weird it's going to be and how cool it's going to be, and free energy and ETs and inner earth, and we're all going to be kumbaya together. It's not going to quite be like that at first. There's a lot of crazy shit that goes on, because remember, for as many people as listen to these shows or have any of these things, I'm in a broad scale of people sometimes, and I'll be the only one at a table of 20 that has any clue to anything that's going on remotely, or even wants to be bothered with it. So there's a lot of lacking spirit going on, which means when things start to occur, it's going to get weirder for them really quick. And if you know them, it'll be right in front of you, but perhaps you got to know how to be above it all on the higher branch looking down, so you can be sympathetic, empathetic, but not attach. Be like, it's okay, this is what's going on. You know, sometimes even reaching out is no good, especially like when people are drowning. If they keep grabbing you, they could pull you under. So when I was a lifeguard, they taught me, it's like one of the first things they taught me. They're like, you have to go around someone. You could even go under them and come up behind them. You like swim up to them and kind of go around, let them flail and do their thing. You're going to make a saving move, and you're going to come up behind them with one arm, be under them, and you come over like this. So now I can take you and lift you, and I can start working my way, and you can. But if I let you grab me face to face as I swim up to you, you can pull me right under, and you won't let go. You'll try to step on me to do these things and wind up killing both people. So it's the same reason why they tell you put your seatbelt on first, make sure you're secure, then you secure this kid next to you. Because if the kid starts flailing and all that other stuff, you got to be in your seat. You got to be able to be locked in so you can do whatever maneuver you need to do, but from that position where you're safe or safest. But you can see how easily things would get out of control. So it gets to a point where you're not even here to save anyone. I'm not here to save anyone anymore. I'm moved above into the next tree branch where I'm like, I got to take care of myself in this scenario. I have to create. I'm a creator. I can't just create content for Fearless and be like, well, it's the only thing I got is my spirituality. That's me. But in my life, I do music. I do things with my cats all the time. I go with Paula and do whatever. I'm always happy to be with her at all times. So whatever that turns out to be, whether we go for an ice cream or we go out to dinner or whatever, I take the experience as it comes in, like, oh yeah. And I make sure I'm in that moment and not outside of it. I'm not worried about all this other shit. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and I'm having a good time with it, which plays out to amazing experiences. The world is not as bad as people are making it out to be. And I'm in New York, and it's a little grindy over here. It's getting different, but it's not though. It's nobody's doing anything. Everybody's kind of wondering what's happening next, that they're literally showed crash retrieval of a giant 20-foot egg thing that they knocked out of the sky, right? Like that was on the news yesterday. Like we're there. We're there. And you can see the split, because as that's occurring, they're being forced to do this, by the way. Like it's all is revealed. The age of Aquarius is now. We're here. And they'll show you that. When I use the vibration plate, I'm in front of the TV downstairs. Sometimes I'm watching TV and stuff. And there was like 6 medical commercials in a row. And I'm like, wow, I can't even believe like this is on in my house right now. When did they allow it to be like, I haven't seen a commercial for a movie ever, in forever. I haven't seen a commercial for anything other than things that gives you, like, we're going to help you with your upset stomach, right? And then the thing you take will give you like, if you have blood flying out of your colon, contact your doctor immediately. I'm going, everyone has some weirdo symptom that they're going to connect to these things. And then the uneducated, ignorant person is going to go talk to their doctor about this. It's a ridiculous thought, right? Not if it's the only thing playing all day, all night, and that's all you watch. So you have one thing going along the other thing. So here's your bright future. You want your ETs, they're going to start releasing it. They do it for the normies this way. But then at the same time, 2 guys that are from like the same level playing field of full of shit most of the time, right? Like some of these UFO guys, they're like not only dinosaur predated, they're like just in that area. And they're always talking to the government and trying to get things going. I guess you need those people too. But then there's like this dais table of fucking who's who of these guys sitting there. And I'm like, that guy's a liar. That guy was just talking to Doty. Doty's a liar. He literally, his job is to fucking lie to you. And he's talked about it, but he's on the shows on Gaia all the time telling you about ETs that are around. I'm like, liar, liar. This guy's misconstrued. The guy from that quit the music group, and then he's with the UFOs now, and he's been with them for years, and he's got the information, Nobody's provided a fucking thing. I'll tell you right now, this show is provided, and there's many other shows provided more information way past fucking UFOs from the first show. Right? So these are all danglers with the low-hanging fruit to get these normies on board, to get the agenda in place. Like Stephen Greer's running around going, all ETs are good, or some crazy shit. And I'm like, no, they're not. And the earth is littered with them, which is why we have the problem we have now. Oh, no, they're all good. Have you met one? I've met like 65 different ones. I know it's more than 65. I'm just saying, you've met none. And the people that actually have the experience are out there having the fucking experience. And it's like, wow, look how they're treating this and where they're sending it down the path. And it's like, well, if the earth does split, maybe Trump is setting it up. Further I get into this, it kind of sounds this way. So Dolores Cannon once spoke of going east and west. We would be moving west, I believe. And I don't know how that works out. It's not literally west going to California, but the east is like the split, those who stay and kind of recirculate. They're still learning, and they have to keep learning. They're not ready to wake up or maybe there's levels of waking up, and then they don't go any further than that. So they advance, but then they got to kind of go back into the loop and deal with all the things they never dealt with before. While others that go west, it's splits, and those are the high vibrational people, the ones that are ready, the ones that are doing it and are about to do it and are going to do it really soon. And maybe they're setting it up so you're getting a shot, because according to the futuristic timeline, it's 1,000 years for us. This sounds so weird to say this. A 1,000 years of like love and light, let's just say. We'll keep it simple. And then on that 1,000 year, when it's up, the people that were here are no longer rocking infinite timelines in all directions. You like bring that in and become the one guy. But the ones that stayed in the East are still on a timeline, and you have to meet again. The timelines need to finish and converge to one, like one sacred timeline where everything is just there. And they have to come up to us. But what is there when we get there is the AI again there, and it's the not good one. And it's whatever transhumanistic agenda takes place in the East. Those from the West return to get their people and bring them up. But it's like, sounds like Battlestar Galactica to me. When I witness it, it's pretty scary, but we literally already won. So it almost makes no sense, but will probably make more sense as we become more aware, as we live into that future and become those characters, as we remember what we were taught, what's in our DNA, and we activate it and move through. And that's going to bring me into tonight's conversation. But first, I need a sip. And I want to say what's up to everyone. Throw the sun up in the chat if you're feeling what I'm saying tonight. Like, subscribe, share. Let's get the information out there. So, in my no karma awareness moment, this happened a week ago, probably 9 days. I started remembering my dreams, but not remembering them like, oh, I woke up and I remember them. No, I'm there. And I don't know where this place is. And we've discussed this place on the show a couple of times. It seems like an area on acreage of property, like many, many, many acres, where it has everything. Now, some people said to me, well, it sounds like a smart city. It's not a smart city. Check this out. It's like a mall that has a hangar for like UFOs and other just flying stuff. It has a rail system. It has underground tunnels, sewer systems. It has luxury hotels, almost resorty spots. It has a massive like schooling system, and everything that would attach to that kind of stuff. I keep finding myself. It has housing for everyone. That's there. Years, and I've been talking about this place because I show up there and then I would remember my dream. Now I'm in the dream and I'm like there working. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is happening? Why am I in this place? So night after night, I revisit different things and I realize there's something bigger going on. So we've been losing weight here and we've been doing things to help up ourselves on all different layers and levels. And I said, okay, higher self, can you hear me? I can hear you. I'm like, wow, that was pretty loud. Okay. Source, can you hear me? Yes, I'm here. Okay. What is this place and where is it? Because I'm not in my dreams doing dream stuff. I'm like in this other place physically. And this had to do with my karma being resolved and the timelines have been collapsed into me and it activating and just needing to take time to open up more. Right. So it's being explained to me through being allowed to be in the dream longer. Instead of just telling me, that night I go in. I go down, I'm sleeping. I'm there. I'm in the chef's quarters, but it's like big long kitchen with all those silver stacking trays, and it's really nice though. It was very clean. You could like a cafeteria size, and you could feed a lot of people, and it was kind of empty. And I was in there, and I had a computer in front of me, like a work computer, and I said, "Oh, just like what I used to do for the USDA. I was a food inspector." I look over, and I'm wearing like I remember what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a red T-shirt, green pants, all uh, not military, but like cargo with the pockets on the side, boots. And I'm saying to myself, damn, I don't like that color red with the green. It makes me look like a Christmas guy or something. And he put the backpack on. He's doing things, but I'm like falling back into being that guy. And I start talking to people, and I'm like, I got to finish this work, and da, 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 da. And I pull myself back out, and I'm going, what the hell is he doing? And somebody said to me, hey, Frank, what are you doing? You got to come over here. And I went, wait a second, time out. My name's Frank here. So I go to talk to this little group of people and start asking them questions. And I don't remember putting bubble gum in my mouth, but there was bubble gum in my mouth. And I felt like a chew and then an expansion, and it was pouring out of my face. And I'm going, wait, I gotta get this out of my mouth. And I'm throwing it down on the floor and sticking my hand, and it's just growing and growing. And I can't ask these people any questions. I'm like, it's not letting me. I'm gonna choke to death. Boom! I wake up right out of it, and I'm like, thought I was choking to death on gum. I had my hand in my mouth, like, and I'm like, wait a second, I was there. Well, that feels like work. I don't really want the gum thing. I have panicked. I smoked I had a smoke. I chilled out. It was 3:00 in the morning. Then I go back to bed. Now I'm back in this place again. I went right back in. There's that guy. There's Sugar Pop. What's going on here? And I see people getting crazy. I saw some guy right outside the main window of this mall atrium. There was a bus stop, and these guys came running this way, like across, and they just lit it up. They had weapons, and they just started shooting, and people started running in all directions. And I had Sugar Pop right in front of me, and I said, Sugar Pop, what are you doing here? You're here too? Oh, come on. This is some bullshit. And I go to grab her, and she takes off running. This place is so big. So big. I couldn't find her. I looked and searched. I begged people. I got so wrapped into it. Did you see my cat? There's people shooting. I don't understand what's going on. So I'm like, this can't be happening to me. How did I get here? Am I never going to get home? Am I never getting back? Boom, wake up. Sugar Pop standing right next to me, just staring at me. She like lays next to me, and she like, gives me her little headbutt, like, morning, fool. I'm gonna put my butt in your face immediately. Look, everything's cool. And I'm like, I gotta sit up, I gotta get up. I was soaked with sweat. I'm like, that was real. That was totally real. Next night, I told Paul, I told Paul every detail I could remember. The next night I'm there again, and Paul is there, and I see her, and her arm's not messed up. And her leg wasn't messed up. She's a little bossy. she's Paul is really short. And she was like kind of bossy. She was telling people what was up. So I'm like, oh, Paula, and she waves to me. She's like, hey, what's up? And I go, oh, so your name's Paula here too. She looks at me. People start going crazy. I go, what is this place? Where are we going? And she's gone. I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait a second. I know where I'm going. I go down into the sub areas, and I'm with an entire crew of people. And when I tell you, it's some of you are there. People I know are there. We have the same exact name. I'm like seeing you and going, do you remember me? And then, oh, yeah, you're Frank, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's not Frank Castle. It's not the same. And this is weird to me because we've talked about how shows like Stranger Things exploit malls, like they use the mall as the base of operations, and then think now of how many things happen in malls that have been crazy sci-fi, over the top portals, this, that, or the evil demon running through it, and how many times the mole was involved. So I'm like, there's got to be a fucking connection here. I don't know what this place is. Source, can you hear me? Yes. Hi, yourself. This isn't working. It's not working for me because I'm working while I'm there. I'm literally got a job. I was doing inspections. I was talking to a guy about lettuce. I thought all this shit was done. Me and Paul are sitting there. I had my little thing to I say it out loud right in front of Paula, my mother. It doesn't matter. We're flipping through things to watch downstairs, and Iron Sky 2 comes up. So Iron Sky was the movie about how the first movie was how it was like the timeline if Nazis were kind of succeeding in their thing to take over the world, and they wind up using UFO technology. And the hero of the movie is just using like a plane. He's like an American guy. He's like flying through the city, and they're chasing him in UFOs and giant robots, and just it's crazy. But Iron Sky 2 digs a little deeper. So it just popped up. It's just added to YouTube. So we got the 80-inch downstairs. I just hit the button. So she was like, "What's this?" I go, "This is the movie I keep telling people about, but nobody watches it and enjoys it for what it is because they think it's the stupidest thing, but it has all the crazy information in it." So the movie's basically Earth is in the future now. It's from the first movie, and a lot of it's been beat up and destroyed. So being on the planet's kind of like a pain in the ass for everyone. People are scrounging, and it's whoever's left alive and everything. So the movie starts to take place on the moon. And there's a moon base there where there's colonies of people that have no more connection to the planet itself. So I'm like, whoa. So they're the survivors of the destruction, and they're over there. And in the opening sequence, they're in the dirty mall place. And it's where these people were living. And I'm watching the movie and telling Paul, yo, this is going to be the craziest movie. It's so stupid, but it's crazy. So she's like, explain deeper. So I go, so they're on the dark side of the moon. And there's this civilization that's now there, and it's run by Nazis. And the Nazis are just the ones that happen to be in charge right now. Right. So it's like the thing to do because everyone else is dead. So that nobody minds. They think the planet's just uninhabitable 100%. So you got to forget it. We got to move on. So they're trapped kind of living in these areas. And, your job is to be, let's say, a guard or something. And they put you in the Nazi outfit and you're standing there, and they just kept it going. So to them, it's nothing new, right? You get normal, even American looking guys. They're not Germans. They're just people. And you're like, yo, this is crazy to find out the people that are running it are shape-shifting reptilians that would meet as a council. And then the council was a villain from each time period. And those guys were still alive. They're just a lizard wearing that skin for that time. So they were all wearing the skins of the villains. So it was everyone throughout history. And then Hitler. And Hitler, oh my gosh. So Hitler was like looking for his twin brother, the other reptile that was hidden somewhere, right? So that character was a general. It flips to the other side of the moon base. He's hiding. while Hitler's doing his thing. You don't know where Hitler and these guys are. They're like in this thing, and you're finding out they're all reptilians. He's just a guy, and you don't know that he's one of them, and he's trying to get back to the planet, to get inside the earth, because in the inner earth there's a sun. There's a device that helps power the inner earth sun, and it's made from like a crystal, and the crystal holds the sun up. He's like, that energy is called Vrillium, and if you eat it or drink it in any way, shape, or form, you stay young. That's how, and he goes, that's how we stay young. And we just, throughout history, we just do what we do. You start to find out about this guy, and they take the trip to the inner earth, and then all things happen within the inner earth, and you find out that you go back, they're all clones and stuff. Like, they're cloning people and using the genetics to create the society. And I'm like, wow, this is covering everything. Like, it just, there's so much more, guys. You all know how much is going on. They put everything into this movie, and then at the end have Hitler, he comes in on a T-Rex, and he tries to murder everyone in the mall place. So I'm like, that's the place, but it's not. That's a dirty version of it. That's dirty. It doesn't look like that. It looks bigger and like just better condition. That's all. Not to say what they do is more or less there. It's cleaner than that. But look, it's the exact same thing. And you can't ever fucking find your way out of this place. And then where would you go if you could? This is what I started thinking. So I go to sleep that night. Boom, it happens again. This time there were so many people, and I was outside, and we were packed shoulder to shoulder, and they were moving housing. So people that were in these houses here now had to move to those houses up there. And those houses up there, they were moving somewhere completely that I've never seen before. So we had to take our stuff and go up there. So there was like a whole bunch of people walking, and I was just walking and seeing not everyone I know, but a lot of people I know. And you'd be shocked. You'd be like, wow, look, it's this person. And everyone's named the same. I get up the next day, and I've been exhausted for the last week. I'm getting 3 hours of sleep broken up each night, even though I'm sleeping from maybe 1 o'clock in the morning to 2 to like almost 11 sometimes. I'm only clocking 3 hours. So I'm constantly getting up, and things are happening to me, and I'm remembering them. It's like I'm living 2 lives, and it's getting a little fucking annoying, actually, because you're there. So it feels like when you wake up here, you're unrested 100%. So I'm like, what is happening to me? Sit down. I tell Paul again, here's the whole regiment. And then I'm like, I haven't heard from Kevin in a few days. I'm like, let me sit down and see what I'm supposed to be doing for music. And I start humming a song that I've been writing. It's ready to go. Why I've never dropped it is beyond me, but it's about 5 or 6 years old. It's been done. So the song's called Dark Side of the Moon. And I read the hook, and I realize I get the full download that I already know what this place is. The whole song is about me being like the circus top hat guy, right? Like the welcome to the circus, that guy. I forgot what they called him, like the guy with the top hat. And he welcomes you into the dark side of the moon where magic and myth become real, right? But because you're afraid to look, you have to be prepared. And then the fear overtakes you, but you're coming into it. You're going there. This is what you're going to do. You're going to be welcomed into this. And now this is what it is. And all the verses are about the place, what's there, what's around, using the DNA, how it's mixed to create clones and variations of us. And I'm like, wow, I haven't read these lyrics in a while. I tried to rap them and couldn't rap them on the beat. All of a sudden, I was like, that's not how that song goes. I got to read this. I sat down, I read through the whole thing, and I was like being stunned one time after another time, after another time, after another time, after another time. And I'm like, so, Source, can you hear me? I can hear you. Higher self, can you hear me? Loud and clear. So, is that on the moon? I'm getting tired of asking, but I believe it is. Is that a clone of me? Because I'm missing a tooth. He's not missing a tooth. His name's Frank. My name's Frank. That's about it. He's bald, shaves his head. His beard's a little different, not much. He's got a similar job. Is that a clone of me? Are they cloning us there? By taking, so they know who we are here. They know who we are when we reincarnate. They do blood tests, and then there's the 23andMe type stuff. And anytime they get your blood type when you're like a young kid, so your DNA is readily available. So if you were trying to take the creator being Gene and start an off-world spot, wouldn't that be perfect? It's placed right there, but they will never see you and you will never see them because of the way the things rotate. So they'll always be on the other side. So Paul has said to me, oh, just like the movie The Village, the Shyamalan movie, where people lived in that fenced-in area, they just never got to the fence. So when they finally made it, the girl comes out, and at the end, she just walks onto the highway, and there's people, and she's never seen people outside of. They thought they were the only people on God's beautiful earth, but never walked the distance enough to try to cross into something else, and wound up finding out. And then they lived like it was in the past. They were wearing like robes and shit, and very humble beginnings. Meanwhile, they're in full technological society right there, and the people on the road didn't know about them, and they didn't know about the people on the other side of that fence. So wouldn't that be perfect? Right? Mixed with the eating and the using the other. This is where it gets crazy. I hope YouTube does. They removed a whole bunch of my videos. They use the body parts. They use the organs. They eat it. They drink it. They bathe in it. They create one that lives and makes it a slave. They rape it. They beat it. They create the ability to get adrenochrome from it and drink it. I mean, there's so many combinations of this. That's why when people hold on to the thing like, I'm the right one and you don't, it's like, dude, your information is correct, but so is this. You're in a dualistic place. It can be up and can be down. I can slap the shit out of you and still not feel bad 2 seconds later and be like, see, everything's fine. Happy, happy, joy, joy. You could have both. I can meditate and then boot someone that's trying to rob my house. It's not a big deal. This is how the place works. And then they also know how to attack and track and tag you. So you would never be around the other one. There'd be no chance. So now let me break it down even further. So that means there's another me there. I haven't gone to anyone else. I haven't been anywhere else. I haven't seen anything super freaky in the Frank the Space Lion being. I already got him. He's with me. All those characters, the inner Earth guys, they were all boom inside. All the fractals of the do's and don'ts and this and that. It's gone. It went in me. I have to integrate it now. It's all done. The work is now got to play out. So this guy's there. So obviously that's a fractal of me. So I can't absorb him into me. He's alive now in this time, right now, over there. just out of my sight, but he's there. And they said, you're finally learning. You're finally beginning to see it. This has been going on for a long time. You're not just coming upon this like, oh, look what I figured out. Like, they've been doing this. They've just advanced it many, many a time over many, many of lifetimes. It's never not been. But now we're like, oh, we're at a spiritual point in evolution where it's going to go. So now if I was to be on, so let me get to a bigger point. So if the earth is going to split into two vibrations and frequencies, does this other Frank go to the other frequency? Whereas because you're, as a creator of source, like source creator, there's a version of me and everything. Is there going to be a literal version of me in the 3D environment as I move into the next frequencies? And then that guy just takes, not that he would replace me here, like in my house, but he'd be on the timeline. So that character will be involved in that until he's no longer there. Or what if they do another one? What if they say, oh, this guy's good, we would make another one and make one of her, and then make one, like, what are they trying to do? Just an off-world civilization that pretends like Earth doesn't exist, like they don't even know. I mean, if you started cloning people and putting them in a spot, they're just waking up and then being involved right away. There's no time to think about what's going on. You just never thought you weren't there to begin with. It's whatever they're programming you with or showing you there. You know, Earth wouldn't even be a concept to them because they can't see it, but it's right on the other side of them. I mean, maybe they can. I don't know, but I didn't get a feel for any of that shit when I was there. But there were spaceships, like there were starships, there were helicopters. They were helicopters, helicoptery, and they would land in places like drone helicopters. So it was kind of had a futuristic feel to it, but it wasn't overtly crazy. But you can see that there's ports where people come and go. But at no point did I say to myself, well, I could get in one of those ships and leave. Like, I have no clout there other than what my job is, my assignment. And I've learned this now over the last few nights, that just having an assignment there is like, I should be praising God, who is this basically the state, for even having the ability to be brought into something and having a job to do. And it's very communist and fascist and Marxist, but it's a small scale, so it looks like it works for them. But being who I am in it and seeing it that way, I'm like, oh yeah, they got plenty to eat. You can have sex with people, you can drink, you can go to work, you can come home. I mean, you can really get wrapped into this shit. And then with technology being a little more ease on you, you go back to maybe your pod or your little home, and then you do what you have to do there, and then they move you out into another thing they ask you to do. Maybe that keeps people from asking questions. Okay, with that though, as a creator, I'm like, well, if there's another one and I'm jumping in there and I'm literally going to work and dealing with his friends, and I haven't seen the family thing. I've seen Paula. It's not like we live together there. I don't know if I'm dating anyone there. I didn't get to any of that weird stuff yet. There's no resistance. Like, there's like those who would there's rebels, but no resistance. Meaning I'll go live over here underground, or we'll meet over here and we'll do drugs you're not supposed to do, or things they tell you not to do, you shouldn't do, whatever. Kids sometimes does it anyway. There's a feel of that to there, but you will get in trouble, and then you'll work. You'll be put to work again, right? Or I don't know. I didn't even get to the point where, what if You push that boundary a little further and then they lock you up or get rid of you, throw you in what everyone else however they get rid of you, and then they just clone another one and bring them in. But my consciousness is going to that, whatever that is. My consciousness constantly goes. I talked about a dream I had not long ago where it was a similar scenario and everything was in Chinese, but I was me and I was there was like 6 lines or 5 lines of people that went like 10 back. So there's a lot of people and we were like standing there and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? And I see we're like in the lobby of a building that you would see down in the city. So the lobby doors were all closed. There was police cars and sirens lighting up the whole place. And you could see reporters all behind that. And we were kind of back and they couldn't see from outside in, but from the inside, you could just see out. So it was that casting on the window. They grabbed someone. This guy walked by with a machete, grabbed one of the guys off the line and chopped him into pieces in front of all of us and screamed at the top of his lungs that I was like, I'm going to go shit my pants. Like, I'm freaking out right now. I just saw that. And everyone just scatters and starts running. And I see that my brother's there. And I'm like, I go, Rob. And he completely didn't know who I was. He completely did not know it was me. I take off. I run upstairs. I go into the first room, and the escalators are huge. So it's like you're really going up 2 floors or 3 floors from that long atrium type building. I try a few doors. Boom, one opens. I go in, window slides. I turn around and Ralphie, Eye of Ra, is standing behind me like, go, go, go. He closes the door. I go out the window. I look down. I have no shoes on, but I have pants and I have a shirt. And I think I was wearing a hoodie. And the shingle piece was like this thick. It was right next to where you could come out the window and hold on and go down it. But no one would do anything like that from the height that we were at, right? Unless you're being chased with a machete guy that he's just chopped this other dude into pieces and put him in a bucket right in front of us. And I ain't never seen nothing like that. I freaked out. I jumped out of the window, grabbed on, went to look for like, Ralphie, come on. And he was already gone. And I just went straight down, boom, hit. People were taking pictures of me. It was raining. I was like, can't believe I made it and my ankles didn't snap. I hit the floor. My hands were burnt. My feet were burnt, but it wasn't enough for me to go, oh, I should stay around here and get help. And I hightailed it right to where the cameras were. There were reporters. People were talking. They were going, who's that? Who's that? They were snapping pictures. And I just ran. And then when I got to the dark, I was like, oh, it's like I could hide here. And I was back. And it was the exact same feeling, the exact same thing, but a different place. And I've never revisited that character. And I fair to think what happened to that version of me probably caught him and just put him out to the wind. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what they're doing? Who knows in what nation underground base they're taking DNA and making it and seeing what these things can do, who they are, sending them to work with total zero remembering of who they are and what they are. So very interesting. But this is what's been going on in my life for the past week. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a little annoying. I don't know more than what it means to me now. I don't know. There's nothing I could do about it. Obviously, it's something very intense, and I don't want to live through that character's passing. If he passes, I don't want to live through that, like go there and experience that part. However, if it came to that, I guess I'd go collect it and bring it back to me. But your birthright is being stolen hand over fist. by humans and non-humans. And they're creating places where, so Paula was right. I'm thinking about it now. It's just better to say experiments within experiments within experiments. It's probably the best way to put that. Right. And then each time they do it, it's like a smaller ring. I don't know how much longer this will go on or last, especially with everything else that's going on. I don't know who knows about what, and when it comes to Space Force or what, who can do about anything. I don't know. We're at a point for me where I know what happens after this. Like, I know where we're going. I don't know when the split occurs. Like, I can't see it. Like, I go to look and it's static. It's like a brick of static in my path. And then for like both timelines, like the two trains are traveling and they go into a tunnel of static. And then on the other side of the tunnel, you can just see when the trains come out, one goes this way and one goes off that way. And then you can see what's happening. But and my guides tell me all the time, we're not privileged to the information. We're privileged to seeing the how many different choices and ways you can make it to get there or not get there. It's kind of like that, like so many different variables could happen, but like you're hearing us. So on the higher vibration, we're not going to tell you what to do, but maybe not going out right now is not a good time. Okay, you can go. So if you could hear them say that and then go by that definition, and then you go out and you get a parking space up front, you get the product you need, you're able to say hello, pass it on, hold the door open for someone, get everything you require, get back in your car, go back home. Oh, there's a parking space again. The cat's waiting by the window. You open the door. The dog don't scare the cat to run out of the house. You come in. You don't make a mess. You put everything down. You're able to put everything away and then start doing something else. And you think to yourself, wow, I just got everything done. And it was like the smoothest transition into doing something. And it's like, yeah, we told you to. And it's like, oh, so my paying attention to you is part of that awareness. You can't tell me what to do, but you could infer maybe the next 10 seconds leaving is not the best for you, right? Like, just if you were to wait 10 seconds and take a deep breath. I know I'm being saved from some kind of saved. That doesn't make sense. I don't want to say that. The obstacle that I would be facing in those scenarios for those experiences are constantly moving and shifting. And if I left at the proper moment, wizard's never late, always on time, right? You make it through without any interference, no static electricity, no obstacles. It doesn't even feel like you went through something. You just feel like you accomplished something big. And those are all small little miracles. When you start seeing that and hearing that, you move into that position, it just happens more. Like, there's no really controlling this. You could pretend, like when I say, I'm not listening right now, shut up. They go, oh, look, mister, I can see up and down in density and da 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 da. Oh, now he's going to shut it off and try not to. I'm like, dude, I could fucking hear you. And you're totally more annoying than me on cocaine. Get lost. Right. And they go, oh, yeah, he wants me to get lost. They're not going anywhere. They're all around you waiting for you to stop your little bitch fit and get into whatever position you need to be in. Well, is it going to work? If you try it. I can't tell you what it'll do because I'm not telling you what it's going to do. But I can tell you it's not going to do nothing if you don't try it. Right. So why wouldn't you take advice from the higher you on how to maneuver in and out of the systems and everything, including up to something as crazy as cloning factories on the dark side of the moon where they're building civilizations off world with fractals of your DNA. It just gets so fucking confusing, right? Tomorrow's the inauguration. So this is just a timeline thing. I made a couple of jokes the other day. I was in the supermarket and I had a couple of weird moments and I was going to say something I was really gonna fucking say something. And then I held it in, and I had to go to Macy's and try to find a jacket from my wedding, right? So we're having the dinner. There's not a lot of people around right now, so they'll all be ready for the dinner in March. And I went in there, and it was like Kamala Harris and her friends' dress area. Like all the clothes looked like that, or prom dresses, and then all the guy stuff was all slim fit. And I go, everywhere I looked, everyone was overweight by a lot. I was like, nobody's buying anything. Nobody's really shopping unless you want the Kamala or the prom dress, fake elegance. And I started bugging out, and Paul was like, you got to calm down. So I just went, 2 more days, 2 more days. And she was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're dancing now? I'm like, I'm not going to say it. 2 more days, 2 more days. Y'all know, because this was the other day when I was doing it. What happens tomorrow? All it is like a punch clock to know that I am on the proper timeline. Period. So just like I go checkpoint, that's a checkpoint. Boop. So as we move further along and it gets there, it's checkpoint. Each checkpoint you pass, you never have to go back. And it shows you in confidence and in understanding that you are where you're supposed to be. So the minute that stamp goes down, it starts changing further for us up that timeline. So since the last few weeks, the patent for the U.S. military has the ability to change the vibrational frequency on a guy and make him walk through walls. And the government's been using this since the 1950s, right? Kind of clears up me having an issue in my house with a bunch of military guys beat the shit out of me, and with a little ET coming along with them, right? Showing them how to use sonic weaponry on people. When I said, oh, they just walked through the walls, but they had belts on, and I could see technology on the belt. I don't know what it was, right? But they just walked through the wall. So obviously he's using something. He hit me in the head with his pistol, so he's able to shut it off and put it back on. There's that. Well, that information came out. Then I talked about the egg shape or the teardrop looking device, where inside would be a ball that magnetically spins infinitely as soon as you turn it on. Well, you can turn it on and shut it off, but once you turn it on, it'll infinitely spin, and it'll work forever, literally forever. It'll have plugs around the bottom, or well, at first it'll be plugs, I'm pretty sure, and then the ability to transmit energy to like a patch on products that have to be plugged in, right? So you'd put like a sticker on the back of like the TV. You put this device down kind of near the TV. It's silent. It starts spinning. You could just turn the TV on. It picks up the transmission, picks it up. And I said this a long time ago. I've been talking about this for like 8 years. I'm like, yo, they're going to have this device. They're going to be cheap as fuck. Every house is going to get them. And you're going to have these patches and upgrades and all this bullshit until the new houses are built with them, just in the house. And then every house will have its own. And it'll be infinitely powered. Everything, everything works. And no, you don't have to pay for it. You just that one time. So when I was under ayahuasca, she was like showing me like a whole bunch of them being worked on, and they were giving them to people. They were, oh, how many you need? You need 5. Here you go. They're putting them in bags, boxes, whatever. They're handing them out. And then she said, okay, you're going to need a couple. So I said, I don't even know where I am. I guess I need like 5. She goes, no, you need 1 for each room. Take 1 for each room and whatever. So they packed up a whole bunch, and ayahuasca took me back to a house she said was mine. She said, put it down, turn it on. And I'm like, okay, it's just a knob. I just turned the knob. It spun pretty quick. She's like, I'm like, there's more knob though. She goes, yeah, turn it up. As I turned it up, it just spun faster, allowing for more products to be up online into this. And then if you didn't have the patches, you just plug in. So, and that's just the start of it. She's like, look, they're gonna they'll start removing like the energy center of the house in the new homes. They'll just have this device, and then things will just activate. So you won't have wires and all kinds of weird shit going on. But at first, you're gonna have all the wired stuff. But it's already done. This is already done, so you don't have to worry about it. Even though you're worrying about it and you're paying a high bill. You know, I want to complain for 1 second. So I got my energy bill here. So I've been paying the bill with Paul. We split the gas and electricity. So we haven't had a bill over like 400. Now, this is a big house. It's 3 floors. It's got a lot of seepage. It's fucking old as fuck, this house. So last month, I don't know how this fucking happened. How this happens, I should say. But we used $89 in electricity. That was my bill in electric, right? And I have solar, right? So I used $89 in electricity. The electric bill cost $280. I was like, wait, what? No, wait. So there's a split on, I can't show you because I can't block out the information on it that I don't want you to see, like my mother's info. But the other half of it is your gas. So last month, we used $118 in gas. And they charged us $430 something for that delivery. My bill was $678 fucking dollars. $678. I used $89 in electricity and $118 in gas. Rape. It's happening across the board. So this and not being able to find the proper wear and attire, having to have the checkpoint to know the free energy is coming. This is where it all connects. The rubber meets the road. We haven't been wrong. We have not been wrong. There's a whole section of us out there. And I understand I break on people selling books, like, oh, I'm selling my book. I want you to sell your book, right? Like Karen just got her book done. It's an essential book because it's like it actually gives you answers instead of just the Lyrian War. No, here's 8 steps to help you get into the next thing you need to do. Because you're always asking, well, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And how do I do? Well, you want a guide? Here's your guide. But people that are like really pushing the envelope, like the David Wilcox, and buy my course. My course will send you into the next 5D, and you'll understand everything that's happening so much better. Yeah, I have a problem with that in this part of the time period. I get it, but you're not helping. Like the Lyrian War didn't help anything. Doesn't help anything in the now moment. Doesn't you telling me a whole bunch of stuff that's not your personal fucking story means you have no experience in it. What am I supposed to like? How do I justify you and your information when you actually haven't had a physical interface or experience? You're just telling me, yeah, it's happening. When I come here, I have to have my story prepared because my piece of the puzzle is the story. If something in the story resonates, you take that with you. I won't die on a hill with a lot of things. Like if you want to fight me on flat earth, no, it's flat. It's not flat, but I'm not going to fight with you about it. I just move on. I don't even care. But people want to get into that kind of stuff and sell the book and push the info through. Like, let me in the course give you the Even when I do ayahuasca with people, I'm like, when you pay me for ayahuasca or something like that, you are paying for the 30 hours it takes to make it, right? 30 hours it takes me. All the time, effort, energy, product, how I act, how I put it in, how professional I am, what I have ready for you, the things I have on deck. He needs a towel, a pillow, a clean sheet, a blanket, food, drink, this, that. So I'm a caretaker. I don't teach you shit. I, as the teacher, she's the one that unleashes the fury, not me. I tell my story. If it resonates with you, you jump on board. We become fearless together. It's like the comic book, right? At the end of the comic, I don't want the splash page to be empty. I want the door to flip open. And then who is it? It's you. And you've come to the rescue. And you're here to add now your part to the story. That's what makes it so fucking good. I don't have to be fantastical. It's already fantastic. I don't have to add layers to it. And I don't have to talk about intergalactic political structures that'll never do a fucking thing for you in this now moment. You know, some of you will be long dead and gone before you even pull some of the proper information from one of these fucking people. Whereas in others, people are just giving it to you. You got to use your discernment through this time. You have to. You even got the two UFO guys. One guy was saying, Elizondo, there's a giant. Did I not finish talking about this before? So from that dais of people with the UFOs, you got Elizondo, I think that's his name, saying there's a giant spacecraft coming to Earth, and that they're working towards explaining this eventually, and they're gonna let you know, and it's heading this way, and there's nothing you can do. And the other guy from the fucking dais, 18 minutes later, puts out, the government's gonna try to tell you that there's a giant UFO coming to planet Earth, and it's a fucking lie. Nobody's coming to Earth. That's not how it works. This is what's going on. So you got two guys on basically the same side with opposing thoughts completely. And then you have the propaganda on Netflix where it's a third body problem, where you have these guys coming here and they'll be here. At first, you thought it would be lifetimes away. And then you find out, then you think it's 400 years away. And then you're like, oh shit, they're going to get here in like a year. Like whatever civilization that is zip, 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 zip. Oh, here they come. So this propaganda machine is working hard to keep you distracted in shit that doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Arguing points doesn't matter. Trying to show I'm not trying to show you shit. You want to see something cool? Check this out. You don't want to see it? Okay, cool. That's it. You got to start pulling in and pulling out. You know, I got sucked in on Twitter a little bit. They blue check marked me. Everything got good. I started, people started looking in on what I was doing, which was nice because I'm not getting any fucking growth in 3 years. No growth, right? I was at 1,500 people on my channel for 7 years, right? We're at 2,000. I don't even think we're at 2,000, right? So the algorithm isn't nice. The shadow banning, it's real. It's all real. It all is what it is. So I started putting my music up there and it's getting a lot of traction, right? But it's not translating to musical hits, like you listening to the actual song. It's just people clicking like. And then like one or two people go over and listen. So we're even in a time where it's just rush. I had to back out of that and go, okay, I'm just going to tell my story and leave it in, as they say, in Source's hands. I'm not stressing it no more. The grassroots movement's happening. Everyone wants to get on board. There'll be a section of it out there with me, with high vibrational music and music that's got the right frequency and vibration to make it all better than fucking anything P. Diddy will fucking do. You know what I'm saying? Complete opposite. Like, and there's a lot of us out there. I can't wait to hear the new round of rock music and things that are like just conscious music. I mean, literally, the world revolves around music. So to be stressed about my creation, I don't want that. I don't want to learn how to work with the fucking AI so it can build all kinds of functions for me. I don't want to. I don't want to sit back and type every detail so they understand it 100 fucking percent. I don't. It's too stressful. It's too much. I'd rather just not do that and take care of myself and then put forth the story that takes place in here, because it's fucking weird and it's freaky. And like I say all the time, you're not born fearless, right? Like, this show is about becoming fearless. I'm becoming fearless every day, but every day I still got to wake up and put that foot forward and be like, I'm not afraid to whatever it is, whatever that challenge is, up or down, left or right, and then just how I handle it inside of me and how that reflects outside. Did I blow up again? Did you fuck up? Why did you say that? Did you have to be rude like that? Why couldn't you just held the door? What, like, I check myself, check, until I don't have to check, because I'm doing it. I'm just moving in it. So I hope that you find your space to move in it and to groove in it. I hope you find everything in this world that you need, inside and out. I hope everyone comes online, because the more of you that comes online, the better it is for me here, because I am a fan of yours as well. We're in the family. You don't approach me sideways like, oh, that's Fearless Frank Castle. No, it's Frankie. Come over here and give me a hug. Hey, Frank, what's up? What's up, man? Right? The connections have to be made now. This is why I started doing Fearless Conversations more, because the connections have to go live. I'm connected to all these other people that you guys had no idea about, or maybe you did. But I have to tell. And then they've done so much for me. Why I wouldn't return the favor and introduce you to them and be like, these are cool people too. That's because there's a lot of people out there that they can't have the competition. I got to just do more and outdo the shows and do blah, 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 blah. Don't you want people with the information and not the bullshit? You know, you could have 7,000 guests on and it doesn't mean a fucking thing. And you're just pushing so you get likes, clicks, money. Right. And you're like, oh, bro, I'm totally enlightened. I have everyone on my show. But what if you had it all going on? And then you're like, oh, I can trust that host. Or I can feel good, at least, with the information coming through that person. Right? Or that sounds a little bit more like me than what Frank talks about. And I kind of like this other person a little better because it resonated more with me, because there was an understanding of there's actual steps that you could do during Ascension process, and they explain it a little better. It's time to meet these people. It's time. We got to be together in this. This is about winning together, not winning separate. Right? We get rid of the poison fruit from the tree. That which is decaying, that which is rotten, will fall away. And we go into the new together. So my take as we move through Revelations, because this is all a script, is that you're going to be seeing more of the script. The more you look, the more script you're going to see. Whether it's scripture or prescription or even sports are down with entertainment, like sports entertainment now. It's all fake. It's all scripted. Everything that you're seeing out there that's not being reported to you by some human creator being that has love in their heart and is bringing it forward, most likely has a ridiculous agenda attached to it. And then you can go and dissect all of that. Remember, though, the more you get into it, the deeper it gets, and it never ends. So do you get a basic awareness and understanding of the whole thing and then step back? Or do you still want to know about the war? Or do you still want to know about this? Do you want to dig in deep? You want to still fight over Trump and Biden? You know, my best friends were fighting. So Trump won the election, so my friend's wife said you can no longer hang out with gave a list of people, and everyone was on the list that you're not allowed to talk to. I'm like, I didn't vote for nobody. What are you? Why am I on? Everyone became enemy number one. So my buddy came out and was like, I know. He's like, I'm in a house full of people like this, but I'm a Trump supporter. So it's like this. And I'm going, wow. So everyone's separated because Biden and Trump. Like you literally had a physical separation in your family structure and internal structure due to the way someone voted. This world is sick and needs to be healed. It's absolutely sick. You make enemies because of that. So I said to my best friend, who is the first person on the list, I said, yo, man, you're on that list. So he looked at me like, why would I be on that list? I voted Democrat. I go, well, not a lot of people actually did do that. And you know, it's the other way now. And he goes, well, there is a lot of stupid people in this world. And I looked at him and I'm like, but you lost because the guy's a fucking piece of shit asshole. And then there's the lists of millions of things I can just say to this kid right fucking now. And he's really smart and he's done a lot of amazing things in this world. But instead I said nothing. I said, oh, you just shit on an entire population that literally voted the other way. And whatever. So I say nothing. I don't give a fuck. I'm not losing my friend over it, over something so stupid. Right? If you can't see it, hindsight will be 20/20 for these people. If not, then they don't. So I don't got to ruin every fucking thing around me to separate myself, to new age it, and then not be doing the work you're supposed to be putting in, to not be part of the new age and to be spiritual, but not spiritual, part of the awareness, so I can be source creator and unlock my abilities. Like the choice is yours, right? Whatever road you go down, I hope you find everything you require. I hope you heal every trauma. I hope everything turns out right for you inside, because you're going to realize that's the only thing that matters. So I sat at that table with all my friends and nobody gave a shit about what I do or what I say or in any which way. I was like, I stood up and they were eating before they should have started eating. And I said, you fucking gavones, you don't even wait for a fucking toast. You fucking disgust me. Everyone over here is over fucking 50 except this fucking prick right here and this one. And they're learning from you. Be happy you're here and that you made it here today. Stop rushing through fucking dinner because the magic is at this table. It's not the table. It's not the fucking food. It's you and me, buddy. We made it. We made it out of the Bronx. All of us. We, with the exception of this poor motherfucker right here, we're all looking like we're getting younger. Him, unfortunately, he looks 72, but that's fine. I could say that he's my fucking friend, not yours. Right? So this is crazy. And I'm like, you're the magic. I love you. I'm here to be with you. And you should be blessed to be able to go home to your fucking family. Maybe blessed isn't the right word, but just because the annotation in it being less, but you have the ability to go home and kiss someone or hug someone and that person's yours or that animal is yours and they love you back and blah, blah, blah. You be happy from that little bit of like, oh, I am pretty fucking, I'm humbly lucky. I am lucky. I have someone that loves me, someone that understands me, someone that will get me, you know. And if you don't, and you have other connections, you accentuate those connections and it will bring you towards those that will understand you and you can make that connection with. Like this is supposed to be a positive, beautiful thing. And they're going to make it look like the toilet's flushing 100%. Right. So we look on to the future together, stay ahead of the script, stay ahead of the energies, evolve, make the change, be the change, right? We do need an Aya party. We do need one. I can't wait. One day I'll have the property And I'm going to have what I'm going to have on the property. And that's where those will take place. The gatherings, there'll be music, entertainment. It'll be more of a family function added alongside a wonderful the ability to have a wonderful connection, psychedelic experience that brings you with all the others like you with the high frequency into the next piece where mother can I don't know, the whole thing. You could touch it, you could feel it, we could be there together, we could hear it, we could react to it, you could dance to it, you can be super energized by it, you can assist and be of service to others right there and then on the spot, because that's where it matters, right there and then. Right, the hand comes up, hey, and it's like, oh, I'm right here, I understood that, I can help. Or here, check this out. Right, and it's not in opposition, it's just fucking cool, it's fun, it's love, laughter, experience, wisdom. We're going to gain it all. This is going to be crazy. It's your birthright. You should go out there and be driven to get your birthright back by doing things like relaxing into yourself, loving yourself more. You don't have to go out there and grab it. The tighter you grab, it falls through your hand. Relax. You are it. Come to me. Right? We work together, but when I call, you come. Right? I could trust in that fact. It's like, yeah, well, it's made to work with you, not against you. All the things that go against you are just resistance points. And then when it gets really physical and crazy and traumatic in this world, a lot of times it's contractual. So it is everything across the board. So you got to take it case by case. All right. So happy Sunday. I love all of you very, very much. And I appreciate you taking your time to being here. And let's go with that positive timeline. I'm doing the dance again, because I love it, because that's the checkpoint. Positive timeline. Let's go into the proper timeline together. Let's make an example of the old place and be like, oh, totally not what we want, but we're going to make what we want, right? There's no more songs to sing. You got to write new ones to sing along, because the old ones are filled with fucking pedophiles and fucking weirdos casting spells and frequency against you. Write a song. Let's sing it together. Right? So happy Sunday. Good luck to everyone tomorrow on whatever decides to happen in this world. Keep your energy grounded. Keep it together. Right? Make the connections. Okay? Purge, release the emotions. Bring in the new good energy, because this is what it's all about. Stay fearless, everyone. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. I want to spend a little more time, but I cannot. Dinner. So I love you so much. And if you have any questions, comments, I will be around the evening floating, so you can hit me up and ask me anything you need to. Love you guys so much. Kevin will kill me if I don't say this. Don't forget to check out Sons of the Suns music. High vibrational. It'll bring you to your knees and then make you levitate off your feet. It's perfect for everything you need. All right. Have a great night, everyone. I'm Frank Castle, and this is Fearless.